For decades, if you wanted to build software, you absolutely had to learn these incredibly complex programming languages. You had to understand intricate system architectures and basically spend countless hours debugging syntax errors. It was an exclusive club, right? And it effectively locked out the vast majority of people who had brilliant ideas but just lacked the technical skills to execute them. But right now, we are sitting right in the middle of a massive paradigm shift. Software development is no longer just for engineers. Today in this explainer, we're unpacking a really fascinating conversation between the leaders at NEN and Lovable. We're going to dive into this wild phenomenon called vibe coding, and we'll show you exactly how non-technical employees are using AI to build real functioning applications. Here is a quick look at our agenda for today. We're going to cover unleashing the 99%, your AI co-founder, rapid prototyping and monetization, step-by-step app creation, and finally, the future-proof career. Let's just jump right in. Section 1. Unleashing the 99%, the end of the bottleneck. So the creators of Lovable realized something pretty massive. They noted that large language models basically just process language. And when you think about it, coding is literally just another language with rules and structures. By bridging that gap, we've shifted paradigms. As they put it, quote, before you had 1% of the population that had to sit and hack, now can unleash the other 99%, end quote. I mean, think about what that actually means. Your limitation is no longer trying to track down an available engineer. The only limitation now is the quality of your ideas. It's an incredibly empowering, almost intoxicating shift in power for the rest of us. Seriously, think about the old way we used to do things. If you had a great idea for an internal tool, you had to write up a proposal, wait for IT to give you the green light, convince the CTO, navigate all those office politics, and then work with an absolute army of developers and a project manager. It was so incredibly slow and frustrating. Compare that to the new way. You have a domain problem, boom, you vibe code your idea directly into execution instantly. You literally speak it into existence. This is totally changing how we view standard enterprise applications compared to custom, self-made tools that are tailored exactly to what a business actually needs. Moving on to Section 2, your AI co-founder, beyond just chatbots. Okay, so what exactly do we mean when we say vibe coding? Well, it's the process of creating custom software by communicating your domain expertise and prompts directly to an AI, rather than sitting there writing manual code yourself. You really don't need to be a software engineer. You just need to be a subject matter expert. You understand the business problem deeply, right? So tools like Lovable step in to handle the front-end design and logic, while orchestration tools like N8 handle all your back-end workflows. You are essentially treating the AI as your fully capable technical co-founder. But look, an app is basically useless without data. A massive part of this entire revolution relies on escaping what we call SaaS silos. Historically, your data was totally locked inside standard applications. Think Salesforce, HubSpot, or Slack. If you actually wanted to use that data, you had to pay for these complex integrations or clunky data warehouses. But now, we have MCPs, which stands for Model Context Protocol. This is a brilliant technical breakthrough that lets AI agents talk directly to each other and directly to your data. So your custom front-end can securely pull data right from your internal databases using an MCP, completely bypassing those old walled gardens of enterprise software. And to show you just how accessible and honestly how personal this technology is getting, consider this story about a management consultant. She was struggling to stay awake while reading bedtime stories to her kids, which meant she kept missing out on quality time with her husband afterward. So what did she do? She used her AI co-founder to vibe code a totally custom app connected to her Apple Watch. When the watch detected her pulse dropping too low, it would actually wake her up. I mean, she built a highly specific, totally custom piece of software to solve a very personal problem, and she didn't write a single line of traditional code. All right, Section 3, rapid prototyping and monetization from idea to exit. $500,000 in revenue. Let that sink in. $500,000 in just 3 months. This comes from an app called Plank, which was built by a solo, non-technical female founder down in Brazil. She recognized a really serious safety problem regarding domestic violence in dating. So she just vibe coded an app where a woman can pay $5 to check a guy's criminal record before going on a date with him. Because she was so close to the actual problem, and because she could totally bypass that usual engineering bottleneck, she validated, built, launched, and monetized a wildly successful business idea almost instantly. And the speed of this market, it's getting even faster. 20 hours. During a recent hackathon, a team used an AI co-founder to come up with a business idea, build the working prototype, start monetizing it, and actually execute a successful exit.
all within a single 20-hour window. No way, right? But it's true. This completely disrupts traditional venture capital timelines. When the gap between an idea and its execution shrinks down to mere hours, the market starts moving at the speed of thought. Now you might be thinking this is just for scrappy startups, but it actually scales beautifully to the enterprise level too. Take this one massive US healthcare provider. We're talking 190 hospitals in 300,000 employees. They have fundamentally changed their IT workflow. Instead of IT trying to guess what the nurses need, the nurses themselves, the actual non-technical subject matter experts, are vibe coding their own internal tools. They use a test database connected to patient records, they build the app, and then it gets delivered directly to GitHub. From there, the traditional IT department reviews it, maybe tweaks that last 10% just for security, and then pushes it to production. It's basically the perfect marriage of grassroots innovation and enterprise governance. Which brings us to Section 4, Step-by-Step App Creation. Build your own superpower. So how do you actually do this? Here is the exact 5-step blueprint derived straight from enterprise and consumer workflows. Step 1, identify a specific domain problem. You really need to know the pain point deeply. Step 2, prompt your AI Cofounder to generate the front-end GUI, which is your graphical user interface. Step 3, connect your app to your actual data or business logic, using those MCPs or automation platforms we talked about. Step 4 is human-in-the-loop refinement. This is where you test it, tweak it, and maybe have a more technical person review it for security purposes. And finally, Step 5, deploy to the cloud and start using it. It is a straightforward, totally actionable path from a problem straight to a deployed solution. But here's the catch. Once it's deployed, what actually makes these internal tools succeed? Well, if you're building for a company, success requires absolutely zero friction. Users simply do not want to change their behavior. Your vibe-coded app needs single sign-on, so people don't have to remember new passwords. It also needs to visually match the company's existing systems. For example, when employees at NVIDIA use these tools, the apps they prompt are generated pixel-perfect in NVIDIA's classic black and yellow design system. It has to feel native for people to actually adopt it. And that leads us to our final section, Section 5, the future-proof career. Stay relevant in the AI era. Look, the reality of the AI era is hitting the white-collar world, and it's hitting fast. A private equity firm over in Los Angeles is currently using Lovable to build infrastructure that maps public data to find investment targets. Previously, this really tedious work was done by hiring junior analysts right out of college. But now, the firm's founder reports they are saving $200,000 per year per junior role just by using AI agents instead. The basic entry-level tech and analysis jobs are rapidly being automated away. And hey, it's not just junior roles being affected. Executive recruitment is changing literally overnight, too. Private equity firms are now actively demanding that chief revenue officers know exactly how to AI-enable their entire go-to-market strategy. They want executives who can leverage AI to put customized data right at a sales rep's fingertips instantly. As our sources warn, if you are a classical executive who relies entirely on the old way of doing things, you are going to have a very hard time getting these top jobs moving forward. So, what's the game plan? To protect yourself and stay relevant, you need to build your personal defense strategy. You basically need to become what some people are calling a vibe coding engineer. Here is your checklist. First, you absolutely must retain your ability to think critically and identify core business problems. Second, master prompting using advanced models like Claude. Third, learn to build beautiful, functional interfaces using tools like Lovable. And fourth, understand how to automate workflows and connect data using platforms like NN. If you can combine your unique domain expertise with these AI skills, you make yourself undeniably valuable. We see nurses completely streamline hospitals. Solo founders generate hundreds of thousands of dollars. And consultants build custom watch apps just to save their sleep. The barriers to creating software have effectively disappeared. The technology is here, the bottleneck is completely gone, and honestly, the only limitation left is your imagination. So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. What will you build with your AI co-founder? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to see what you create.